today I have a special guest all the way from Australia, David. He has an awesome channel. It's called 4 to 4 Golf. How you doing, man?
Very good, thank you, Eric. Very good indeed. It's been a bit rainy today, not typical Australian weather, but yeah, it's not a bad spot to be at the moment.
I know you guys have some nice weather over there, some nice scenery and everything. Um, can you tell me a little bit about your channel? I've seen your channel, and I'm just amazed of the obviously the courses and everything there. So first, one thing I want to ask you, the name of the channel, 4 to 4
Yeah.
Golf. How did you pick that name?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because it's one that I really do think about now. So when I first started the channel, that was absolutely the aim. It was for me to track the progress that I was having as I got better at golf, and the idea was that I was going from four, like hitting it here, there, and everywhere, to four, the different spelling, with actually getting to a four handicap, right? So, and I started the channel. Those that have been along for the ride from the start, you're certifiable, first of all, but thank you. And they'd have seen that I was about a 24 handicap, and really, really quickly I halved that. I got down to 12 within about 6 months, maybe 8 months, something like that, of starting the channel and working on my game. And pretty much I just stuck there after that. So it's still the channel name for sure, and I think it expresses more of uh, a mindset, rather than necessarily my aim to get there. I still would like to get down to that, but I think reality's set in a little bit that with the amount of time that I have to practice, and let's say the natural ability that I have, I might need to accept that being in and around 10 might be a bit more me. So
You're original from Australia, or you told me that you're.
So I've been in Australia for about 10 years. Moved over in late 2010. So yeah, getting close to 10 years. And before that, I grew up in north of London, in Essex.
Wow.
For those that know it, and I've probably just alienated half of your audience if they do know it. So I lived there for 20 something years, without giving away how old I am.
I wanted to ask you. So this is really interesting to me. That the reason I wanted to make this video is to see some of the things about golf in Australia. A lot of people like myself, there's a destination that I would love to make, obviously. But I wanted to ask you a few questions about how things over there, like say like the golf courses, the green fees and stuff like that. How much is it? How does it work over there? Is it expensive to play golf, or?
I think like a lot of places, it varies, and you've got the very exclusive private courses, and they are quite expensive, and you've got lots of public access golf courses as well, where you can play for really quite a low amount comparably. So if I take recent video of mine where I played at Joondalup Resort, which is it's a public access but a resort type course. That place would cost, on the weekend, if you wanted to play there, it's about $120 Australian. So I think 100 Australian is about €60, something like that at the moment, 55, 60 euro.
Really?
So I don't know how that compares. But that's an exceptional golf course. If you go back and watch that video,
that's amazing.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I am a member at Sun City Country Club, and that's where the majority of my videos are made from. And around there, so if I talk about a full membership, because most people don't understand that, that's about just under $2,500 a year.
Okay, so that's about average here. That's how much?
€1,500, something like that.
Yeah. So, but let's say if you wanna, maybe you're not, you don't play that much. Are there places where you can join for cheaper, or does?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay,
so there's a couple of ways that I've done it, and I did a little video last year about moving away from a traditional membership, where you just play in one place, and you get quite good at playing that golf course, but maybe need a bit more variety. So I actually do now a flexible membership there, and I'm also a member of a social golf group called Future Golf that they're basically the second largest group of their kind in Australia. And what they do is they broker deals with local courses to run events for lots of different people that aren't members of an individual club. So they actually bring full club membership to just individuals that don't necessarily want to spend that amount of money and have some flexibility with it. So that definitely is one way of doing it. And equally, you've got so many public access courses as well. You'd be hard pushed, aside from some of the really exclusive places in Perth, that you wouldn't be able to ring up and make a booking as an actual guest. So
Right. But let me ask you this: from where you live, are there a lot of options you have there, or is it really far away from? I mean, how does it work?
It's a good point. If I've got that map behind me, and it's only that it's there that it kind of puts things in perspective. With Australia is such a huge place, and Western Australia itself is quite isolated as well. So that's been great throughout this whole COVID situation, because we're isolated from the rest of the world. But it does, we're only a population of about 2.5 million people. It might be 3 million by now, and that area covers basically continental Europe. So it's the proliferation of golf courses are really around the big metropolitan areas, and Perth's one of those. So, I mean, I've got an aim this year of playing 20 new golf courses, and I've already done 8. And I still have, even after playing golf in Perth I haven't been playing in Perth for 10 years, probably more like 5. I've still got plenty of options throughout here. So there are still quite a lot. And then when you go into country WA, it's quite different. I've played some other courses that of the like you'll never play, where they don't even have grass greens, because water is a precious commodity in this country. So they will actually have sand greens that you draw a rake over.
I've seen some videos actually on those. Let me ask you this thing, because this is something that we see here in Italy, at least. I don't know about Europe in general. What about the way it's seen, golf? Do people see it as like a rich man's sport, or is that already nobody cares, nobody really?
I think it's probably better, and when I say better, it's not seen as elitist in Australia as much as it might be in other countries. I know for sure France and Italy it's kind of seen that way, but I play with
probably like in the US.
Right,
in the US, I lived there too, and you don't really see it. It's not only when I got here to Italy, it's like, it's like, what are you talking about? It's like really. I mean, there are some golf courses that, I mean, as soon as you get there, all you see is Audis and Ferraris, and it's just the atmosphere is like kind of like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? And it's not, I don't think that's good for the sport, and that's why people see it that way, but only a few now, I have to say. There's other ones that are not. So I guess that's not the case in Australia. I mean,
no, not really. I mean, I play with all sorts of guys, I mean, I'm not rich, and I certainly don't drive a Ferrari yet, but I play with guys, plumbers, electricians, whatever, but also I played the other day, just happened to be with the general manager of operations for Alfa Romeo. So, you never know what you're gonna get on the courses over here, for sure.
What about the dress code there? Are they strict to enforce it, or nobody cares, or that's just, I mean?
Look, I think private clubs they're gonna enforce it. Public courses maybe not as much. We're a fairly relaxed country anyway. But look, personally, I still think being dressed properly is
it's part of the game, I think.
I just think it's it's a little bit of a self-respect thing, even, not as anything necessarily wrong with it, but it just I don't know. Yeah, for me, I still make sure I've always got a collared shirt and stuff like that. He says not wearing a collared shirt right now.
Yeah, yeah, no, here they will definitely stop you, yeah, because here is really, if you go into the wrong place, they won't even allow you in. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like with the first time I went to this, it's in Franciacorta, that's what it's called, and as soon as I got there, I was like, man, I think I need to park somewhere else because there were so many, all these vehicles, like I said, a bunch of Ferraris, Audis. So I was like, you know and obviously there you have to dress up accordingly and everything, so
Yeah.
but anyways, that's okay. Tell me something else. What about the golf, like in general, like the golfers, how people, I mean, it's popular. It's not the number one sport though in Australia, is it? No.
No, it wouldn't be the number one sport. I did dig up because I weren't sure exactly how many. So Golf Australia think that we've got about 1 million players around the country, something like that. Out of the population, it's about 25 million. So it's not the most popular. We've got lots, but we are a country that are very outdoorsy anyway. I think we definitely punch above our weight in terms of sporting prowess around the world. I
Yeah.
appreciate I'm saying we. I am an Australian now. I'm actually a citizen and stuff like that, even though I don't necessarily sound like it. But yeah, the participation levels, yeah, so about 1 million golfers, something like that. The most popular sports are probably a mixture between cricket,
Yeah.
rugby, AFL, which is like a mixture between rugby and about 3 other sports.
Hmm.
It's great to watch though. And then soccer or football,
Soccer.
as I
Yeah.
would call it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's that got a little is growing, right? Soccer, yeah. A little bit, I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Look, the game is growing here for sure. To change tack a little bit, soccer's getting more and more popular here. And some
Yeah.
of the Premier League clubs have been coming over to Perth. There's even talk that they might try and finish the Premier League season over here in Perth because of the weather we've got and the relative relief from the COVID virus as well. So.
Yeah, I know, I know. But tell me, what about the age? Like, one particular age, or do you just see everything
Um,
mixed?
yeah, look, if I take my golf club as an example, I think predominantly that they are older. We've probably got, I don't know exactly what the average age of members are, but I would imagine it's high 40s. We've got a lot of retirees, and maybe not so many junior members at my club in particular. But I do think overall golf's got a fairly broad participation. I think, just because it's a sport that you can do when you get a little bit older and it becomes more popular when you're a bit older. So I don't think we're much different to around the rest of the world, that there's a lot of older golfers. It's something that I know golf courses have always complained about, the fact that their memberships are getting older and older. But I just think that's, those that
Yeah.
have the time to give to the game as well. But I do genuinely believe as well that golf memberships won't stay in the traditional manner that they are currently or have been in the last
Mm.
25, 30, 40, whatever years.
Hmm.
Because quite simply, we're time poor now. We don't get
Yeah.
the 4 or 5 hours to get out there and have to ourselves. So people aren't going to want to pay the money. And I was an example of that. I didn't want to pay an amount of money to only be able to play one golf course. I wanted to have more flexibility. I don't mind spending that amount of money over a year, but if I'm going to do that, I want to go and see some other golf courses and play some other different places. So.
Yeah, that's the debate with all the when you join a club, right? You're stuck there, and then yeah. But here the age group is a big difference. I mean, everybody thinks I'm like, they ask, like, especially my family, and friends is like, why you play golf? I mean, that's for old people, because when you go play golf here, there's a lot of old people. I mean, I have a lot of, not everybody, but I would say 80%, they're older. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about 50s, 60s, so, in fact, I have a lot of old buddies, because, they always, asking me for advice and everything, and, but that's just the difference here. I guess, a lot of older people play. there is some young people too. I'm sure in Australia too. There's a lot of young people
Yeah.
that like really young too, right? Tell me, David. So what's your like your favorite golfer, national golfer in Australia? Do you have one particular
Look,
one that you?
yeah, so look, we've got again just to come back to that sporting example, for our population, I think we really punch above our weight in terms of the
Definitely.
players that we've got up there. So the big ones, the Adam Scotts, Jason Days, they're fairly obvious. I mean, Adam Scott's probably got one of the most beautiful golf swings on the planet, but there's other players like Mark Leishman and Cameron Smith, even Lucas Herbert, who I was lucky enough to see win the Dubai Desert Classic in January this year. There's some quality golfers. And then in the women's game, we've got Hannah Green and Minjee Lee as well that are right up there in the top 20 as well. So there's some really good role models for the kids, definitely, within the sport. So, and the big kids as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you another question. Do you play any tournaments like there or?
Yeah, so you certainly can. So it's broken down into the state bodies. So within Western Australia that I am, that they do run amateur tournaments, and you can go onto their website and you can register for them there. A lot of the time, you actually just contact the local the club or whatever that's running the tournament, but they do counter ranking points if you want to go down that path of actual amateur tournaments. So it's something that I definitely looked at doing and wanted to do through last year, but some of that was I couldn't get the timing to work.
Right, it takes time.
Some of it was that my handicap wasn't low enough to actually meet the threshold to enter the event as well. So some of them had like a limit of 10 handicap or something like that. So
Okay.
and
How does that work? Don't you have to play a tournament to get
yeah,
your handicap?
so I'll enter competitions at my local club. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So that's one way of doing it. So they'll have a competition every day of the week if you wanted to enter them. Then also through the Future Golf that I mentioned, any of those, they're handicap rounds as well. So if you submit your card from those, you submit a card from those, and that counts towards your handicap as well. And also they've brought in that you can nominate in advance a social round as well. So you and I might just be going to the golf course, and as long as I nominate at least 24 hours before that I'm going to go and play there, and then I play under the normal rules of golf, of course, and everything, submit the card online, that can actually count towards a handicap score as well.
Yeah, no way, that would not count. But
A bit more
wow,
trusted.
that's yeah, but it's only those few that ruin it, because it's not everybody, but there is some people that think that for which doesn't you don't gain an advantage. I mean, if you cheat, then the next time you play, it's always gonna,
Exactly.
that's
You're only cheating yourself. It's the only
exactly.
game.
Do you see that a lot in tournaments? You see a lot of people trying to cheat or like maybe improve the lie and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah, I do.
you see that, yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
And look, if I see it, I'll always ask what someone's score is at the end of a hole if I'm marking their card. If I disagree with it, I'll say, "Are you sure?" Because I thought I saw, etc. And that at the end of the day, it's we're not gonna have an argument about it. But you tell me what your score is, and I'll put down if I don't
Understand
agree with
one hole, because it could happen like if you're making par bogeys, doubles, but then in one hole maybe you lose. Man, I don't know if that was a 7 or 8. I understand that maybe one hole, but not every single hole. That
it.
that's
It is
that
amazing.
happens.
It's amazing as golfers that we're fine. We can count up to 4, but past that it gets a bit tough. Yeah.
Yeah. But no. But I've seen a lot of people that for some reason they always is one less, and that can actually influence your game too. While you're because you're having to
Definitely.
deal with that. But that's another subject, I guess. Is there anything else you want to tell me about Australia and golf there that you think is different from maybe the UK, or any big difference
Yeah,
that you've
look,
seen?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky that I've played some golf around the world. Like you said, I've played in the UK. I've also visited the Middle East and Thailand and seen how they, they put on a show there as well. So I think for the most part, it's a bit more informal. I think here it's a bit more relaxed at courses, but I think everywhere, you find little vibes at different places, that might come across differently. So I love the fact that I've got so much variety. I've got within Australia, well, so even within Perth, there are different types of courses. I've got links courses, I've got parkland courses, I've got more like heathlandy type courses, and then within Australia, there's all sorts. There's resort courses, that are covered in lakes and island greens and stuff like that. And then the beautiful Sandbelt region that's in Melbourne as well, which has got some of the best courses in the world. So, as a golf destination, it's fantastic. And I'm trying to get around and do as many of those and record those and bring those to people that may not be able to get over here, because it is a long way away. But equally, it's we typically have good weather. I appreciate it's thrown it down today, but that's unusual for here. So the weather's normally pretty good. I'm a self-confessed fair weather golfer anyway, so if it is raining, I'm probably not going to go out there. But it's great for that. So it's a good one to come as well, because when it's winter in Europe as well, it's summer over here. So we do get a lot of people come out.
Exactly, it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
Precisely.
But okay, David, that's a lot of good information. I hope this could be helpful for anybody who is thinking about maybe traveling to Australia, especially me. One day I will make it down there, and hopefully you show me around. But I will put definitely a link in the description of your channel so that people can go there and see all the beautiful places you play golf, and make sure you keep uploading those because you got so many courses in there. So you can do your like you said, your what you said, 29. You want to do 29 courses?
I want to do 20. So I want to do 20 and 20. So
you know what? That's a great idea. You just gave me an idea to do that too. But it takes commitment though. But it was a pleasure having you in my channel.
Thank you.
And hopefully, definitely have to do this again.
Indeed. No, I really appreciate you getting in touch with me and giving me the opportunity to talk to all of your subscribers. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks. That was fun, and I'll see you next time, I guess. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. All right.
Peace.
Thanks, Dave.